How about what Gastoni has done in goal here today? The 18-year-old started this thing back in 2009. He's 13 years old, helping Mexico get on the map for the lacrosse, and now he's been making some great saves today.
Well, from here, what you're seeing is the first couple minutes of the third quarter.
Well, lacrosse is my life, that's for sure. Since I was a kid, I was never really good at any sports. I tried everything from fencing to badminton, for that matter. I played baseball for many years, didn't really enjoy it. Played lacrosse after that, ended up falling in love. I played defense. I was this short little 4-foot fat defender and with a 6-foot lacrosse stick in my hand. I was hands down the worst player on my team, hands down. The night before our first game, our coach asked the entire team if anybody wanted to play goalie. 2 nights before, my dad kind of had a conversation with me on the way to go pick up some lacrosse equipment that was the one position you never want to play is goalie, because you're either the dead bug on the windshield or you're the windshield at the end of every game. So that's kind of always stuck with me. And of course, night before the first game, coach is like, who wants to try out? And I was like, yeah, screw it. I'm the worst player on the team. How much worse could I be playing goalie? Hopped in, ended up doing pretty well. Got hit in the shin and didn't cry. So that was a good first time. I cried many times that year, but didn't cry the first time I hopped in goal. First game comes around was against the second team in the state. It was the second best team in the state the year before. First half, I play goalie, and I get destroyed. It was horrendous. I think I had 13 goals scored on me. And that was kind of how I started my horrible lacrosse career as goalie. End of my 8th grade year was when Mexico lacrosse really kind of got into my life. My dad had sent him an email saying, hey, my son's 13. I mean, he's a goalie. If you guys need a goalie, I know goalies are in short supply, and he's just he's half Mexican. And sure enough, Iliad and Ozzy, the two kind of founders of Mexico lacrosse, had emailed him back and were like, yeah, sure, send him to Mexico City. And ended up going to Mexico City, played 3 exhibition games, and that's how Mexico lacrosse got started in general and kind of how it got started with me. After our 3 exhibition games, after we went down and actually kind of got it going in Mexico lacrosse, there was a big explosion to 5 teams that actually competed and played against each other with a championship and everything in the youth. So 2014 World Games was the first World Games that I had actually played in with Mexico, or for Mexico, excuse me. And right then, they were just starting 3 women's teams in Mexico. So as of right now, I believe there's 12 men's teams and 7 or 8 women's teams. I know for the men's side, it's men's and collegiate. So there's not any youth programs, which is kind of the issue with the reason why it's not growing as exponentially as it should be, is because, well, the big issue is gear and how expensive it is to get gear down there. And on top of that, the fact that it's so hard to get younger players because it's so expensive, but it's growing. The thing that really made me stay in it and didn't get discouraged from playing, especially after the first game, which was pretty rough going home with 10 welts and playing terribly and being the dead bug on the windshield. I don't know, it was just one of those things that was I loved it. I still had gone practice the next day and was just well, I can't just leave it to be. So I stuck with it. I still play. I'm still the starting national goalie. I made the national team a month ago. I still play for NAU, so it's still a huge part of my life.